of your comment period removal from the meeting. Disruption of any public meeting by audience members will not be tolerated, and copies of this policy are on the table. And with that, Chuck Custer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Chuck Custer, I live at 455 Great Cliffs Court, St. Helens, Oregon, 97051. And I've got questions. Open meeting like this, so I'll just go ahead into the meat of it. And as reported in the Chronicle on 4/23, hostile working environment was reported to Director Niles on 17, 2022, who then contacted non-union employees. Of threats, personal attacks, negative and derogatory comments, aggression, and lack of communications. Director Hudson, in his investigation summary, said there was multiple issues. His communication style is loud and aggressive, which in turn is perceived to be the communication style, lack of planning, vision, proportion, reorganization, and fiscal health. To solve the issue, Director Hudson recommended that the board help set organizational goals and priorities, and that the unnamed employee change his communication style. Also, Director Hudson recommended against an outside investigator. I don't know if that's happened yet, but also, I have no idea if the board of directors of CRF and has initiated in response to the vote of no confidence. If these questions are left unanswered, the taxpayers are left with no choice but the ballot box.
Who is that?
Director should be bring up his thoughts concerning administrative leave to this body under new business. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the list is David Parshall.
Good evening, Board of Directors. My name is David Parshall. Live at 3940 Knapp Street. And I'm a firefighter EMT with Columbia River Fire and Rescue. I'm here tonight to speak regarding last week's board meeting held on May 1st involving Local 3215's grievance filed on April 1st of this year. It appears that you, the board, are confused with the interpretation of Article 12, being that is as basic as possible. First, I think it is important to define some words that seem to be used frequently by you when defending your choice to assign contract. The word text means the main body of printed or written matter on a page. I'm quoting. Basic terms, text is simply printed words or numbers. Anything printed. The word language means the word, their pronunciation, and the methods of combining them used and understood by a community, like English. We can all agree that the contract is in English. Mr. Hudson, last week you stated you did not know what retroactive meant. It means extending in scope or effect to a prior time or to conditions that existed or originated in the past, just so you know. When Mr. Schrotzberger and Mr. Peterson presented facts to you last week supporting Local 3215's grievance, most of which were in writing or printed text, myself and the community kept hearing the same defense from you, citing that the language or text in the contract did not reflect what 3215 members are claiming we are owed per the signed CBA. I'd like to point out that the board agreed and signed the same contract in question on March 23rd, 2023. In Article 12 of the CBA, the first sentence of Section 1 reads, The base monthly salaries of employees covered by this agreement shall be adjusted as follows, which is set forth in Appendix A. This is the part that is not being acknowledged by you. I believe you'll agree with me that which is set forth in Appendix A is in plain text, written in a language that we all understand. So what is Appendix A? Appendix A lists base salaries for multiple job classifications held by 3215 members. Appendix A is located on pages 38 through 40 of the contract, directly below the signatures of members of this board. Appendix A is clearly labeled as such. For example, my base monthly salary can be found listed in the firefighter section, just as salary can be located 2 tables down from mine under firefighter paramedic. Like your third newly retained attorney stated, numbers are like physics. There is no gray area. He is right. The numbers or text of Appendix A are clear.
Okay, David, it's 3.5 minutes.
You said we have 6 times 5 is 30. We got 30 minutes, right?
No. Just to wrap it up.
Oh, yeah, I got like one. It is important for you, the board, to know that my paycheck the last 2 months have been congruent with the base monthly salary listed in Appendix A. I can only assume I'm getting paid as agreed upon by Local 3215 and this board as set forth in Appendix A. Why are you choosing to ignore the firefighter paramedic base monthly salary? This is not a matter of the board's misunderstanding text or English language. The board is choosing to unlawfully interpret the contract as they wish.
Okay, next is Rhonda Melton.
My name is Rhonda Melton, 58014 South Bachelor Flat Road, Warren. I wasn't going to start or even mention this, but since I'm following up with him, I have a copy of Medina's contract here, and his pay is all on Addendum B. So it is an attachment to his contract. So if they understand addendums, like your contract, it's his addendum too. So I think you guys should be aware of that. I want to address the board and let you know that you're responsible for the policy, the financial well-being of the district, and one employee, the fire chief. That's your whole responsibility. The board has been served with multiple lawsuits and possibly more on the way. The board has retained a minimum of 3 different attorneys and a forensic auditor. I expect those costs to be $. The citizens deserve the high-quality fire and ambulance service that we have paid for and deserve the high-quality fire ambulance service that we've had with the prior board and chiefs. Medina and the board are costing the taxpayers thousands. If the board puts the taxpayers first, they would relieve Medina of his position and try to settle these suits as early as possible. Everybody knows if you settle contracts early or lawsuits early, you have more of a chance of saving money, attorneys, everything. Kelly Niles discussed putting Medina on a leave of absence to investigate. I think that's a great thing to mention, but if you really want to do the right thing today under new business, make a motion. It can die due to lack of a second, or these people can, vote against it, but take action. Medina has cut the wages of most employees, and I do not think he deserves to be on any paid administrative leave. He can feel the pain just like he's made the pain for everybody else here. He began employment December 2020 and had more than 2 years managing the financials of CRFR. He added 3 chiefs, a personal administrative assistant, remodeled his office, spending over $600K, bought himself a new vehicle with upgraded wheels, tires, and more. Used the district credit card for personal lunches and costing thousands. The first public records request comes in January, followed by other requests and a lawsuit. A vote of no confidence is served to the board. Then Medina and the board decided to go on a fishing expedition, trying to find past fault with current employees, past employees, and their families. Why didn't you do that 2 years earlier? Who knows? Medina gives the speech at the January 2023 board meeting. He makes derogatory statements employees were related by marriage. He inferred he was against that employment practice. Jeremy Leonard is a paid employee with the district. Medina creates a new position, which he does not advise, and hires Jeremy's wife, or he does not advertise, and hires Jeremy's wife, Kate Leonard. Public positions must be open to everyone. Once again, Medina says one thing and does another. Board member Kim McLean is running for a board position, which is opposed by Rick Fletcher. Kim requests records for Richard Fletcher. I don't know what kind of records, just records. Kate Leonard provides her with 2018 and 2019 records written by Eric Smythe. Says memorandum. What would you just ask for? Anything that has Rick Fletcher's name on it? The final page is from Ryan Drake, Drake's Towing, dated April 28th, 2023. Go, maybe? It was sent to Jeremy Leonard stating something about 2021. Jeremy Leonard on CRFR email says, thanks. I was out fishing for anybody that would say something negative about Rick. Thanks. It appears Jeremy Leonard was reaching out to anyone who could write a derogatory statement about Rick Fletcher, and his wife, Kate Leonard, sent that information to Kim McLean as if it was some sort of public record release. Number one, I was told that my public records request of financial records of bills already paid would have to be reviewed by an attorney, and my quote was $997 of bills you guys approved to pay. That's disgusting. What exactly did Kim McLean request? Did Kim McLean receive a quote with attorney fees involved and it was approved? Was it approved for release by an attorney? Was Kim provided these records without a request? Just sent it? The only reason Kim wanted those records was because Rick is her opponent at the May 16th election for the board. The purpose for Kim's records request was for personal gain in an election. Did Kim receive special treatment as a board member to receive these records? Could there be possible criminal penalties due to this release? This is an Oregon election violation and an ethics violation with possible criminal penalties. The board has one employee, the fire chief. The chief is responsible for all other employees. He has failed miserably. Overspent district funds, allow unfair treatment of employees, reported verbal and sexual harassment, hires his friends without putting the positions out for a public, lies about the qualifications of his friends, which could place employees and the public in harm's way. I urge the board to do the right thing and remove Medina as fire chief.
Sherry Bradley.
Hi, my name is Sherry Bradley and I live in Warren. I am a wife of a 30-year retired firefighter paramedic and a mom of a firefighter paramedic at another agency. I have owned my own business and I have sat on 2 boards. I have known most of the firefighters personally. It is so reassuring for the family and person receiving care on a medical emergency to recognize the name of a responder's uniform. Most of those names have left or are leaving this once great department. This board and administration have turned their backs on our firefighters and citizens, causing an attrition rate never seen before by Columbia River Fire. The public needs to know when a paramedic leaves CRFR for another department, they are being replaced, not being replaced by another paramedic. They are being replaced by an EMT, which narrows the scope of practice. This could delay or prevent a life-saving intervention that a citizen may need. These firefighters deserve to be respected and recognized for their service to our community. Firefighters stand for honor, commitment, pride, and passion. When firefighters complain about their job, it is not because of their tasks they perform. It is because of poor leadership and stressful call volume that is not recognized by management. This community needs these good, hardworking firefighters, and we deserve them. They are leaving and finding the same jobs in other departments, and you as board are responsible and don't appear to be concerned. You are keeping firefighters from staying to be mentors for younger ones. Your actions affect these firefighter families. These families have a special understanding and understand the commitment on how much they are willing to help others. In 30 years, I have watched mismanagement and it still appears to continue. Do you even know the names who have left and why? It is our job as a community to protect and support them. It is clear to me that this board and chief's goals do not match what I believe the community wants or needs. Thank you.
Rick Fletcher.
Fletcher, 32481 Highland Road, Rainier, Oregon. I didn't bring the handouts this time again either. So Hans, at the last meeting, you did say included his correspondence and we tried to answer them. I sent you emails. I sent all the board members an email. It's not in the correspondence, so what I do wrong? So I would like to know some questions about the admin remodel. I'll read them real quick. At what board meeting was the administration model approved and the resolution number? I have all the board minutes from January 21 to present, and I'm unable to find that record. Such motion is required to be recorded in the minutes. Was the budget amount? What was the budget amount for their model? Again, that information should be recorded. Was there an RFP presented for the project in writing? In my records request that I received, I just got several emails from Jeremy Leonard asking for estimates for budget purposes. No actual details of the project. So is the RFP available? Was this done by prevailing wage? For that amount of money, it should have been. So, and has or is Renaissance Holding doing other work for the district? So, next thing is, since you know the law so well, Mr. Medina, I sent a public records request in last Monday. I called Kate ahead of time, asked her the cost. I sent her a request in. By Oregon law, you're supposed to respond in 5 days to public record requests. All you have to do is respond. So you got it, or you're working on it, or what's going to cost. Today was 6 days. I haven't received that. My records request was for the security video from the global station cameras. That's the time sensitive because a lot of cameras will record over after a certain time. And I'm looking to catch somebody that created a crime next door on the property next to the fire station at Global and vandalized election signs. But I believe the person in charge of that video was probably the person that vandalized them. That's why I'm not getting them. And lastly, I'd like to thank you for the publicity you gave me here with your fake posts. Fake memorandums from Mr. Smythe. Hit the Facebook. I have gotten so many calls of support. So many calls of people saying, that was not you, Rick. They know me. I'm well known here. I'm going to win the election. I'm not going to reply to the paper. And just so Kim knows, I don't know if she's listening. I also have her Facebook post. My attorney loves it too. And we will be in talk over this stuff later. Thank you.
Aaron Strasburg.
Name's Aaron Strasburger, address is 33295, or sorry, 292 Park Drive. Board. Though nearly a year of negotiations and throughout the grievance process, Article 12, Section 1 remained unchanged. Yet in the step 3 hearing, you stated that you aren't clear as to what to follow, the article or Appendix A. Article 12, Section 1 reads, base monthly salaries of employees covered under this agreement shall be adjusted as follows, which is set forth in Appendix A. They are tied together. You must follow both, not one or the other, which is easy to do because they don't conflict with each other. If you never understood that, you should have sought clarification or legal counsel earlier in the process. And I know you have a legal counselor who copies of his emails. You've utilized him throughout the negotiating process. So you stated you needed to find one. If he didn't give you the answer that you wanted, you should have just moved forward with his advice. Same goes for Article 12, Section 11, which reads, the district shall provide monthly premium pay of 2% only to those employees who currently receive this incentive for possessing a fire service related degree with it from an accredited program. Twice you have stated that you couldn't find it in the contract. It is plainly written in Article 12, Section 11. This has also been untouched in the collective bargaining agreement for over 20 years. For reference, it is on page 23. So hopefully you can find it. If not, I can point it out for you again. You've clearly failed to recognize the environment that you've allowed to be created within our fire district and have done nothing to stop it. The optics are that you are doing nothing because you believe that you're right and everyone else is wrong. Do you honestly believe that losing solid employees and leaders is what happens in districts that are doing the right things at the right time for the right reasons? You continue to fail us. Thank you.
That's all I have for those folks that signed up for public comment. Okay. Moving on. Let's see, we have correspondence. I don't think there's anything in the packet, correct?
No, sir.
We have, meeting minutes from last month. We have the financial accounting. Questions? Motion?
Must be accept the consent as presented.
Second. Any discussion? I think any question. We're still running about 900,000 a month.
Yes, actually, even the previous budget, when I went through all the statements, that's the average here. So the average cost around the district is 900,000. The biggest expense is payroll.
We're all set on the, we're all over the board in terms of ambulance revenue, right? Because we had, it's about 150 to 200.
Yes, sir. So like to date, we're about 1.8. 1.9.
In the account, in the,
Yeah, from EMS revenue.
okay, right, the total, right?
Oh, not monthly.
What's the percentage of recovery? Can you tell me that? It's about 30%, 32%?
That's from SP, yes. So overall, so if you're billing, we're on track for, so we're billing for 6 million, 7 million in revenue, we're on track for.
Okay. And that's just because the insurance carriers and they only pay what they pay.
They only pay what they pay. Medicare, Medicaid has a fixed rate, doesn't matter, if you're going $1,000 there, you have it set. There was an 8% reduction in the super rural fee, and as of January, we used to be considered a super rural area for driving, but that's nothing that we have control over, that's voted Congress and stuff, so. So you're gonna see a little bit of a dip from that, because where we're on, Medicare, Medicaid, that's a problem. So what we can do about that.
Is Medicaid about half of our revenue?
No, we have a good, it's not, but it's a good chunk though.
And then in the packet, you've got the Bank of the West account statement that covers the checks paid, very balance, that's the first line that's got paid out.
Yes. And then recheck with straight from the Bank of the West.
There was one check that I was going to ask about. I get lost it. Roundtree something for about 1,100 bucks. I think it was Roundtree.
Roundtree Medical, that's for EMS supplies.
That's it. Yep, got it.
Questions? Okay, hearing none. No problem. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Reading the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
That was a meeting I was at, so I'm not gonna go, I'll stay. See him out there.
That's three. Do we hear any different campaign? You there? Oh, she's on the. Okay, so we have three, so scoring, close carries. Okay. Next, chief officer report.
So we're moving right along with pretty much our plan. We have to readjust the strategic plan because all the issues that we had identified for year one, which was supposed to start in 1 July, we've already accomplished. So we're looking at tightening that up a little bit more. We have 4 paramedics that we already have through the hiring process and we've given conditional job offers. The idea is to make sure that we have two single role units active all the time with a third coming up. So there would be two units. Operations is working out how we're gonna actually do it. If we're gonna man 2 paramedics or if we're gonna do a paramedic and an EMT. Operations and intelligence gonna get together and decide how that's gonna work out. That's actually their wheelhouse. We have 2 firefighter paramedics or 2 more paramedics that are interviewing Thursday. We're getting a lot of people, a lot of interest. When it comes to the volunteer services, we have 10 volunteers that are already starting and 10 more that are headed and just finishing up the days. Chief Smythe came up with a great plan as far as how we're gonna do the volunteer training and things like that. And that works out actually well. We're also gearing up now for the budget committee. And you're gonna see a resolution for actually the 5th member of the budget committee. We had 6, 2 dropped out, we dropped to 4. 1 person did put a request to be in the budget committee. You'll see in the resolution in front of you, but that should start on Monday, the 15th.
We're gonna announce publicly.
We're gonna announce publicly the date for the meetings that we're doing and how that's gonna move forward. Right now, we have the expenditures were done by meeting with every single division chief, and every division chief put in what their expenditures were for their division and their justification as to why that actual expenditure needed to occur. All that got put together and collated along with administrative cost of like things like the printer that we have and things such as that. That's pulled together. We have Chief Sanchez has done a forecast for where we are with the revenue. That revenue forecast is also being looked at again by Crystal Wolf, our CPA. And we're addressing that, so we should be pretty much in a good place to be able to put out all the information about what we're looking for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. And that's about it for the chief's office report.
Questions for chief?
Yeah, you said you're moving forward with the strat plan stuff, tightening that up.
Yes, sir.
The last one I got was a draft.
Yes.
Have a final version yet or anything in there?
Yeah, well, the final version will be given to you on the June meeting. The draft was just so that you would have an idea of the direction that we're going in. However, it doesn't make any sense to include the year one without changing it because we've accomplished everything in year one already. So we're gonna recalibrate the strat plan and you'll have that for the meeting in June for your review.
So in between now and then, do we have any plans to go out and talk to stakeholders?
We've tried to go out to some stakeholders. As of right now, no, we don't have. What I want to do is I want to do the budget committee meeting first and see where we are budgetarily. And then, because it doesn't make any sense to make a plan if you don't have the funding for it. You know, so we need to do a funding plan and then go ahead and reach out. We're waiting to hear on some of the stakeholders about some of the things that they may be interested in. That'll impact the strat plan. One of these resolutions will also impact the strat plan as far as infrastructure. But in the budget, we've put out the financial goals for the district for fiscal year 2023-24. And that's going to be available to you too. You're going to get a packet of everything that got put together. and then the projections going up, both for the board and both for the budget committee.
Any questions? Mark, good?
I'm good.
Okay, thanks, Tim. We don't have anything down for old business, so new business, so we have, 3 resolutions, or is it, it's 3, right?
Yes, sir, 3 of them.
First one is, adoption budget committee member.
Yes, we have, once we went down to 4, we had 1 position for the budget committee, member available. Mark Chisholm, put in his name for that 5th position. I'll read it. I'll read the resolution to you as written. Mark Chisholm is seeking approval to fill the 5th and last available position for the CRFR Budget Committee fiscal year 2023-24. Let it be known that should CRFR approve Mark Chisholm's participation, that he is a direct family relation to CRFR firefighter Cameron Chisholm. That being said, there is no provision identified preventing him from serving on the CRFR Budget Committee for fiscal year 2023-24. I'd like to present this resolution to you to discuss and see if you approve his request to be on the budget committee. Oh, wait,
There's some backup. Is there any?
here's his letter. This is the backup documentation of him requesting that appointment. Your packet.
So how long is the position on the budget committee for?
That's up to the board. We've done terms before of like, 2 years, I think in 3 years. We could do it yearly. It's up to the board. The thing is that it's very challenging to get people that actually want to take the time to volunteer for something like that. So, we'll keep them for as long as we can, and if we have to find other members in the community, other stakeholders, then we'll do so.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve resolution FY 22 23 33, adoption budget committee member for Marches.
You're a second?
I'll second
Any further discussion?
I gotta make the observations that I, in the past, been not wild about having family members serve in positions that have a direct impact on family members. And I haven't changed in that respect. However, anybody who's willing to step forward and serve is welcome to do so, and that's all I gotta say.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 4-0. We'll start the. Go through the awkward pause if we set it up.
Would you like to discuss the next resolution?
Yes.
FY 22, 23, 34?
Yes, when we get started.
Okay, that resolution is an adoption of a lease of the 1936 Howe fire engine to actually the city of Rainier. It is my recommendation that Columbia River Fire Rescue always do everything they can to retain all physical assets that they may have. As such, I am recommending a lease. There's 2 papers in front of you. There's one lease for 99 years and one lease for 49 years. It's whatever the board decides it would like to do. Those are actually the security gets involved. I'll read the resolution to you. It was resolved that let it be known that Dwayne Bernard, on behalf of the City of Rainier Museum Group, requested a lease, either 99 or 49 years, of the 1936 Chevrolet Howe fire engine CID number 216 owned by Columbia River Fire District. The lease amount shall be $1 per year. The 1936 Howe shall be housed at the City of Rainier Museum. Be advised that said lease shall be forfeited and the 1936 Howe reverts to CRFR, the original owner, upon occurrence or non-occurrence of the City of Rainier Museum to care for or house said vehicle. It all just depends if you want to do 99 or 49.
Where's the house currently at?
We needed space to store equipment. The City of Rainier and Mr. Bernard have come to provide a place where we can actually store that engine at right now.
No, I said, where is it currently at? Is it, they have it now?
Yeah, it's being stored for us, yes, but we needed the space.
So would they have complete control? And what about maintenance?
That lease option would be, it pretty much is the City of Rainier's responsibility to maintain it and do everything it has to do to it. However, it's a lease, so ownership still remains with Columbia River Fire and Rescue. Insure it. Yeah, and they're gonna insure it as well.
So if we wanted to take it to a parade someplace else, we can do that? Do we need their permission?
I think that'd be very difficult because we're actually leasing it to them. And then one of the reasons for it is that museum is being built in a way that it houses that fire engine as a display, as a static display. So I don't know. We have not discussed those provisions. However, I imagine that moving it would be very complicated.
I'll make a motion for a 49-year lease, the 36 Howe.
Is there a second? Yeah, I'll second it. You said 49, right?
Or 49.
Okay, any further discussion here?
I would like to get a comment from a member of the audience. Rick? You're very familiar with that.
Yes, I am, and I am on the committee, the museum too.
You support this?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you.
Question was asked, where is it now? That still wasn't answered.
It's in storage. I have some photos of it in storage.
Columbia Rivers or?
No, it's another place.
Okay, just in there.
Shot. There is.
I've already been involved.
Okay, any,
Thank you, Mark.
any further discussion? Questions? Okay, well, show the word.
So there were two,
Yeah, we need to make sure you have the right resolution number because I think there's two of them. One-
I use the same resolution number because the only thing that is the issue is whether you wanted to do 49 or 99, but the resolution is the same.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure of.
That's resolution 22-23-34.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Chief, the third, resolution.
Resolution 22-33-35, the adoption of permission to submit bid at auction. We need apparatus and we need medical units. We really don't have any kind of reverse cache of medical units. So we had an opportunity to actually pick up some auction medical units from the naval base down in San Diego. And I think they went for $40,000 and they deal opportunity. The issue that comes up is that these things come up all of a sudden and we can't submit any kind of bid or anything like that without getting board approval first. So this motion reads as follows. CFR administration requests permission to submit bid for apparatus department use vehicles on GSA auction. The website is there for a period not to exceed fiscal year 2023 24. The purpose shall be the acquisition of apparatus, department use vehicles to fill the fire district, the needs of the fire district. The maximum amount of bid being 40% of typical acquisition costs of like vehicle through non-auction sources. The purpose of this request is to quickly take advantage of procurement of needs of apparatus and department use vehicles on a short notice for a minimum of 60% savings of a typical acquisition cost of the like vehicles. The supporting documentation is from the GSA auction that has all the different provisions and things there such.
You provide, so you're saying the bid, maximum bid not to exceed 40% of a typical acquisition. So what you're saying is that if a typical ambulance is $300,000, you will not exceed 40% of that.
Yes, sir.
So if we don't have in the budget to fund a new ambulance medic unit, are we still gonna be able to procure it through this auction? Even though it's not in the budget?
We wouldn't do it without budget, without having budget availability. When we start doing the budget projection for 23, 24, you'll see that we have a plan from today till 2030 of the vehicles that need to get replaced and when. That's actually gonna be already laid out. And there is money set aside for vehicle and apparatus replacement that's gonna be in the actual budget.
Thank you.
Sure.
And this is only for the 23-24 fiscal year.
Yes, sir. It sunsets at June 30th of 2024. Because that's as far as the budget season goes. So to not extend past the budget season, to make sure we have the money, the only thing we can clearly do is say that this is gonna happen during this fiscal year. During the fiscal year 2023-24. That's why it sunsets. That's why it's clearly stated there.
So, and are you targeting any specific vehicle now?
No, sir, we don't know. We just know that I wanted to give a specific area that what we were doing, because the GSA is basically a government surplus auction. So it's through government agencies. We don't have to have a bid or anything like that because it's a government agency. If something becomes available, then, you know, we kind of need to move on it. It would be a lot better to buy 4 ambulances for 50,000 than it would be to buy 1 ambulance for 200.
Can I make a comment?
No.
Okay.
Great. Make good decisions.
Questions? Discussions are in the motion? Discussion?
I'll make the motion. Just have to.
Approve resolution what?
Motion.
222335.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, so we're coming down, scraping the bottom of the barrel for this fiscal. What is going to make the next one look any better as far as income to be able to afford going out for these bids on stuff like this? And also, are we, to me, we're taking a risk of, you know, like buying a used car, or buying somebody else's trouble potentially.
It's been practice in Columbia River Fire Rescue to buy used vehicles. And when it comes down to the money and the projections for 2024, it's manageable. What we have is that we've since my tenure here, we've decreased the non-represented staff by 6. It'll be 6 members by July 1. That's freed up enough cash to be able to have certain things in place to help get Columbia River Fire Rescue to the financial state that it needs.
What's that leave us for contingency?
We don't have a contingency plan, sir. We don't have a contingency plan. We don't have an unappropriated ending fund balance. That does not exist. It has been reported to the board that it did exist, but it does not. We have a revolving line of credit which is similar to a tax anticipation note that we have available to carry us. That should be plenty. As of right now, through the decreasing in full-time employees and through strict adherence to management, we can get close to November when the tax money comes in. But we're gonna be a couple of months short. Now, actually having an unappropriated ending fund balance is that there's actually an ORS that outlines that that's something that we should have, and we do not. And I understand that many of the boards feel that we had because it was reported to you. It's not the case. It's not there. So, we have a plan, and that's part of the strat plan as how we can get it. But the idea is this: once we set aside enough to have an unappropriated ending fund balance, it doesn't end there. We don't have a quote unquote rainy day fund, for example. My advice and my recommendation and the actions that we're looking for in a long range plan would be that after we attain the unappropriated ending fund balance, we continue with the line of credit as an emergency situation until we can also get a contingency fund for emergency uses. So it's actually an 8-year plan that'll take us anywhere between 8 and 9 years to achieve that. But I fully believe that that goal is achievable.
Get back to the resolution.
That was discussion on this.
Okay, all right, just trying to understand.
Because, I mean, if we're coming down straight from bottom of the barrel, I have a tough time looking at this thing and spending, like, just because of budget, we spend it. That was my point. Okay.
And I'm assuming these vehicles that we might purchase, they have to go through, our mechanics look at them to make sure that they're.
Absolutely. It's not anything that we haven't already done in the past.
Okay.
It's, you know, I mean, a new ambulance is gonna run anywhere between $200,000 and $300,000 depending on what we spend. As I said, the last ambulance that we had with 75,000 miles on it went for $40,000. Even if we get 2 or 3 years out of it, to have an extra ambulance to be able to put on the road is a huge plus and asset to the constituents of Columbia River Fire District, especially for the price that we could possibly get it for. That's why I put a limit on how much we can actually spend for that bid process, and we won't.
But just an idea, we're paying $102,000 a year right now. Even,
Correct.
just to give you an idea. Now, we're not purchased, they were leased.
It actually makes fiscal sense to look to replace apparatus with the best that we can find, that we can afford.
Further discussion? Questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's, time to vote. All those in favor, say aye. 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 All opposed?
Yeah.
3-1. Motion carried.
That's the end of the resolutions that we did.
Okay, next on the agenda is board member comments.
No, that's, for new business, please.
Okay, what is,
Has to do with LoSAP. the length of service award program, good for volunteer. My understanding, we haven't made a payment in that.
No, we have not, sir.
Budgeted.
No, we have not currently. The,
Easy.
yeah, certain things I'm not allowed to talk about with that, but I can tell you that certain stuff was rectified at, May 1st at 12:58 PM. And say that, so there will be something,
Okay.
coming.
No, I understand why, I get that.
Anything else?
That was just a process that needed to be taken care of.
Thank you. So, I do not like doing this. However, I'm going to make a motion to put chief on administrative leave pending, current investigations.
Your second. Hearing no second. Motion back.
Understood.
Hey. Anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Board member comments. Mark, do you want to start?
Sure. I attended my last board meeting as a member of the Department of Public Safety Standards and Training. It was a great 6-year run. I've got one more meeting for the Fire Policy Council coming up at the end of this month. That'll be my last. I enjoyed that 6-year run. I learned a lot. The best thing I learned was, firefighters can really do some stupid stuff. And you're just like, really? You gotta be kidding me. But to be honest, 99% of the firefighters in this state, they're great people. They do a great job. We just happen to get the ones that don't do the right thing. Again, I want to thank the public for their input. We appreciate it.
Are you talking about us?
I'm sorry?
Are you talking about us? We're not doing the right thing?
No. No, 99% of you guys do the great job. There's just some knuckleheads out there that just,
There's one.
yeah, we get it on that board. We look at it and like, you gotta be kidding me. So that's all. I mean, you guys do a great job. 99% of them do a great job. Appreciate the input we get from you guys. We represent you and we like to hear what you think. That's it. Thank you.
No comment.
I'd like to acknowledge the awards given to especially Division Chief Gorsuch and former Chief Frank Rice and former Division Chief Jeff Pritchard. Those were nice to see. Those of you that know me, and there are several of you out there, used to be able to give me a phone call and ask, what's going on? But I haven't been able to do that. I've just been reading comments in the paper. In other social media. Those of you that do know that I'm pretty responsive to questions and attacks on my character. And I would really like to manage. But there's 3 things and stuff that we've talked about tonight. There's a lawsuit about the hostile work environment. That's under adjudication. There's a contract issue that is going to be arbitration. And there are allegations against the chief about fiscal improprieties, which is interesting since the chief brought the fiscal improprieties to the DA. And for that reason, I'm not going to be addressing anyone at this time. But just remember that 100% of 40% of the story, or at the best 50% of the story, is only half the story. So have some patience, and that's going to be hard to do. It's been really hard for me, but I'm going to have the patience because I have to. And realistically, you can vote, But all these things are in process. And they're gonna work their way through the way they're supposed to, and the way I hope any responsible board will respond to that. Because I know it doesn't feel like it. But the board acting in your best interest. Because I tell you what, this would be, at the end of my term, will be 25 years of elected public service. And as you can tell by the amount of wealth I've accumulated in all these 17 years in the council and eventually 8 years on the fire board, you know, that I have had, I got this shirt. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the work. And I've got to have a cup of coffee. So, not in it for the money. Not in it for the prestige, and I'm not in it for the applause. I haven't heard anything. But I would ask you to have some patience that we really are acting on your behalf. It just doesn't feel like it. Thank you.
Hey, nothing for me. So we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Maybe.